Welcome in on this beautiful Friday morning at the Wake and Bake Show with Steven and Jake. I'm always Jacob Steiner. You can always hit me up on Twitter at Jacob Steiner and also Steven at Aggie19.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy morning, happy Friday. We like it, we love you. Let's go. Let's get into it.
First off, the birthdays today, Chris Carpenter, as the pitcher of the St. Louis Cardinals back in 1993, he had his best season, not with the Cardinals, but with the Florida Marlins, a 2.89 ERA. Happy birthday out to him. And Steven Jackson, an NBA champ with the San Antonio Spurs. He averaged 15.1 points per game. So happy birthday out to those on those birthdays on April 5th. Obviously, Steven loves Steven because, Steven is Steven. And
there we go.
To start off today, Steven, you want to, think about anything that's coming this, I'm sorry. Sports events that are coming, soon.
Hey,
what
right now, Jacob, dude, I'm excited for the Stanley Cup. These playoffs, man. I'm a big hockey fan, and we've been watching them, and I'm excited for the playoffs. I'm excited to see what happens. I got a couple teams, obviously I'm a Vegas Knights fan. I've been there since the beginning, so nobody can say I'm a bandwagon because I didn't know they'd be good or bad.
I'm still going to call you a bandwagon.
Well, that's the thing. When people said I really wanted to get into watching hockey, having a team that I root for, and besides just because I grew up in Houston, so we had the farm league, the Houston Arrows, and I lived a little while in Dallas, so obviously I root for the Dallas Stars. But I wanted my own team and a reason for liking that team. So the Vegas Knights said they were making a team in Las Vegas. And my high school was a Knight, so I was like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to follow them. Whether they're good, bad, they're trash, I'm going to follow them. That's going to be my team. And, they went to Stanley Cup finals in the first year. And, hey, now they're back in the playoffs. So it's not my fault that they're good, but I'm going to root for them anyway. They're in it. They're the third seed in the, I think, Pacific division. And
they're sixth or fifth in the West.
Yeah. And then the Stars are the wild card right now. So hoping to see both teams go pretty far. Hope they don't, go against each other. But looking for that Stanley Cup playoffs. Besides that, man, really nothing else. Like I said, not a big baseball fan. Baseball started off.
Screw you.
We watched a little baseball today, and like I said, I'd rather be there or I'd rather play it. But like I said,
I invite you to games and you will not go.
I'd go to a game.
No. I said we're both going to a game and getting drunk and watching the Astros, and you said no.
Well, I am reappalling my sentence, and I'm saying I will go to a game and have some fun. I've been to plenty of Astros games. Besides that,
sure
man,
you have.
What are you excited for?
Obviously, it's obvious. I'm a baseball fan. I've been watching it for the last few days. I'm obviously ready for some more baseball. It's going to happen, whether people like it or not. 162 games. It's the summer, so I'm happy for it. And we're going to a baseball game. I'm going to get you into a stadium. So as we talk about this, coming up in a few weeks, the NFL draft. It is finally April. It's time to draft. It's time to get on the clock and draft some. I don't know what you would call draftees.
Draft some players.
Well, kids. Draft the kids.
Draft some youngins.
Yeah. So we start off as we review the first round of the NFL and the mock draft here by the CBS Sports and see who, they pick for these guys and are they a good fit or not. We'll kind of, pick a position that they should go for. And we start off with the Cardinals with Kyler Murray out of Oklahoma, quarterback. Steven, you got any words on that?
Man, I was skeptical at first. I definitely didn't see Kyler Murray going to the Cardinals. It wasn't until actually the Cardinals picked up Cliff Kingsbury that I did kind of see, okay, this makes sense now. I think Cliff Kingsbury has a great record with a mobile and dual threat quarterback. You saw the pass from Mahomes at Texas Tech. Shout out Jonathan Giles, LSU wide receiver. But besides that, I think I'm now kind of believing that Kyler can do some damage to Arizona. I think he's got a good wide receiver base. Christian Kirk, shout out Christian Kirk at A&M. But I think he's got a good wide receiver base, and I think he can do some damage. So that's I agree. Kyler Murray, Arizona Cardinals first pick. I think that's the right move.
the scenario that they played out here was that Cardinals would send Josh Rosen to the Redskins. I mean, we can talk about that later, but that frees up the starting quarterback, they say. So we could see a Rosen to the Redskins trade, and if not, now you know that probably the Cardinals will not pick a quarterback in the first round, or they might still. But it all depends. So you think they should go quarterback in the first round now?
I think so. I think with their new coach, I think they gotta go first round, first pick, Kyler Murray.
You don't believe in Josh Rosen at all?
No, I don't. We expected big things from him coming out of last year, and he just kind of flopped. I think he was a dud, and sorry to say that, but I don't expect him to do any well this season. So going to the Redskins, I guess that's one way they can free up that slot. But yeah, I'm going to watch a lot more Kyler Murray than Josh Rosen.
Well, it'll be interesting to see as we move on to the second pick in the 49ers picking Nick Bosa, the edge rusher out of Ohio State. And they do need some defense. If Jimmy Garoppolo stays healthy, maybe they can have, kind of like what the Cleveland Browns do with Myles Garrett and Baker Mayfield on both ends, both young, superstars in the league. So I like this pick.
I like it too. I think Nick Bosa coming out of Ohio State, I think he fits good with the way the 49ers run their defense. We haven't seen much spark in them the past couple years, I'd say. But I think drafting this young guy, 6'4", 266 pounds, I just think that's a good pick. I think we can see a spark come from the 49ers that can maybe show off a positive record this year.
Well, it'll be fun to see in that one. Joey Bosa, his brother, did have some contract problems going into the San Diego Chargers, now the Los Angeles Chargers. Is Nick Bosa going to be the same type of guy as Joey Bosa, or is he going to, just play along, get his contract, and go in there and work? And we'll see. So, moving on to the next pick, the Jets obviously picked Sam Darnold last year. They go on to the other side of the ball with the defensive lineman and Quinnen Williams out of Alabama. So they've drafted quite a few of defensive ends in the last few years. So it's, gives them a lot of young guys that they can move around, maybe have a little bit more potential. But I really think they need to find another weapon on offense. Sam Darnold's not going to do it for them.
I can definitely see. I think if you say Sam Darnold isn't for them, then I can see the New York Jets going with Josh Allen. I say that's what we go for.
But he goes for the Bills, or Josh Allen.
I know, but he's going to be a free agent, and I think they're going to pick him up and release Sam Darnold, and then release this pick. Or that's what I'm reading from DraftWire. DraftWire, I think is saying that Josh Allen's going to come from the New York Jets, and they're going to release Sam Darnold. I think that's the right move.
Well, that kind of blows because that's a terrible move for the Bills. Who's their freaking quarterback? Are they gonna? I don't know. Are they gonna pick the journeyman Ryan Fitzpatrick? Go back up there?
No, I don't think so. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick had his last days in Tampa Bay. I think he had a little spark, and he had obviously we remember the Conor McGregor and the cool outfit and all that, and the wins he was racking up. But I think. We saw towards the end of the season what Ryan Fitzpatrick really is capable of, and I don't think I can't see him going to a team if that a big deal or any type of deal. So in terms of Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think that's he's time to hang him the bats.
Speaking of Josh Allen, is the next pick by the Oakland Raiders the edge rusher from Kentucky? So they're trying to fill out Khalil Mack's spot, and they got Antonio Brown, Derek Carr on the front end. This could fit.
I think if the Arizona Cardinals stick with Josh Rosen at quarterback and don't pick up Kyler Murray, I think this is the point where Oklahoma takes Kyler Murray first pick and Arizona's fourth. I think what's going to happen is they're going to pick up Quinnen Williams, like I said, from Alabama. He's a great athlete. Huge guy, nimble, quick, strong. And I think that would be a great second choice besides Kyler Murray for the Arizona Cardinals. So we kind of all just depend on the fourth pick. If Kyler goes to Arizona or if Oklahoma gets him, that's just all up to the boys behind the draft board.
I do love the next guy's name. At number 5, the Buccaneers pick Montez Sweat. Or Sweet.
Sweet Sweat, yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Well, the Buccaneers obviously need something. Ryan Fitzpatrick's not going to be there. Jameis Winston looks like he's going to be on the out. They're going to need to fill out that quarterback spot. And they go straight ahead and go edge rusher here. They need both sides of the ball work. They need a complete rebuild. Do you like them going after the edge rusher first?
I do. I mean, I could definitely see that that's something they want to lean towards. I could also see them picking up Dwayne Haskins from Ohio State, quarterback. Like I said, Andy Dalton's out, and I think they're in need for a new quarterback. So both ways I can definitely see happening. If I were to pick, if I was behind the draft board, I'd probably go with Dwayne Haskins. I think the quarterback makes a team, and I might get a little flack saying that. But I think a young, great quarterback is the perfect kind of spark. We said a lot of fireworks to ignite this Cincinnati Bengal team. So we're going to have to see where they go in that way.
This is the Buccaneers.
I thought the Bengals were number 5.
No.
Buccaneers because the Buccaneers trade. That's right. So the Buccaneers. Oh, Buccaneers.
I was like, Andy Dalton. I was like, what?
Definitely. If we're going Buccaneers, I'm still picking Dwayne Haskins. Ryan Fitzpatrick is not going to do any good. What's the other quarterback's name for Tampa Bay?
Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston, definitely. I mean, choke artist. I mean,
Have you been listening to me at all?
He's a step behind the Giants. Behind Giants quarterback Eli Manning. I mean, both choke artists. Tampa Bay Bengals, definitely I think Dwayne Haskins is the way to go.
Well, at number 6, your boy Dwayne Haskins goes to the Giants from Ohio State.
Oh.
So it looks like Eli Manning could be out the door.
Nope. I said it last stream. Did I say it last podcast or said it the one before? There is something magic voodoo that Eli Manning has on the Giants administration. For whatever reason, the Giants refuse to let Eli go. And I think that's going to nip them in their butt. I think they cannot get rid of Eli. There's something Eli that's drinking in the water or some magic voodoo spell he's put on that organization. I would be thoroughly, wonderfully surprised if the Giants go quarterback this draft. I might be eating my foot in a little bit, coming a couple months or two. But you know what? I think I wouldn't put Dwayne Haskins as a New York Giants just because Eli's got that hold on the administration.
I mean, I would still love to see Dwayne Haskins trade his red jersey for blue and, support New York. This could be a huge move for them. They're getting young. They still have a few talents despite Odell moving. This could be the spark that they need, like what they got with Baker in Cleveland. I mean, you can see the same thing here. So they need that spark. Dwayne Haskins comes in. He can prove it for them. And it's obviously going to be actually Dallas is pretty strong. Not Washington. Philly's going to be a question mark. So this could be a wide open, division almost. And this gives them the spark. I like the pick. Moving on to the Jaguars at number 7. They go offensive tackle at Jawan Taylor out of Florida. That's a big question mark, is that they want to protect Nick Foles now, and they want to protect their superstar. I really think they need to go more on the defensive side. Obviously, they picked some players on the defensive side the last few years, but they did not defend very well last year, and they're going to be. They got the offense figured out. They need the defense more than offensive tackle.
I mean, I tend to agree with you, but at the same time, the Jacksonville Jaguars, with getting Nick Foles, I just think they're establishing him as the franchise quarterback. I think showing the franchise, showing the fans that that they're sincere on protecting their new quarterback, the quarterback they spent a lot of money on, and they say, hey, we're getting an offensive lineman and make sure our boy protected. I think that's more the way that they should go. But I do agree. Defense does win championships. But if I was leaning more towards my pick, it'd be that offensive lineman.
Well, that's a pretty bold statement there. But the Lions at number 8 don't take care of the Matthew Stafford situation. They go Greedy Williams at cornerback at LSU. A lot of question marks, especially on the defensive side for the Lions. but Matthew Stafford plays better with a better running game. They don't have that quite, figured out yet, since the last time they had a good running game was Reggie Bush. I don't like this pick. I don't like it. I'm going to pull it off to you.
Detroit Lions, I couldn't see them going corner. I had them getting Brian Burns from Florida State, the edge. Like I said, they got Matthew Stafford, kind of the same situation as Eli Manning. I don't know why they've kind of let him stay longer than I think he should have. So I definitely don't think they're going to go quarterback. I think Burns proved to the combine that he could add weight, skill, and still have that athleticism. So I think Brian Burns is a better choice. That would be my pick for the Detroit Lions.
Well, still going to be a question mark on what the Lions do. Do they still suck, or are they going to get better? Still going to be a question mark for them. But we move on to the next team that still sucks, the Bills, with Ed Oliver, a defensive tackle. So they're trying to figure out their defense. So do you think they figured out their offense now with Josh Allen, or maybe, I forgot the other guy's name.
I think they're willing to give him another chance. I think Josh Allen, healthy, giving him a year to kind of say, all right, this is your team. You've got to be the quarterback. You can't be a rookie. We can't afford to be a rookie. The same thing that Hugh Jackson told Baker is that this is your team now. We can't afford rookie mistakes. You're a rookie, we get it, but if we want this team to turn around, you've got to stand up and lead. And I think Baker did that. I think Josh Allen. I think it's like I'm gonna give you one more chance. You've got to do this. So I would tend to agree with that pick, but we'll have to see.
And he's from Houston, so I give him props. Ed Oliver, ego definitely, but a solid player on the field. So he's going to be a pretty. We'll see how he deals with the cold, moving from. We know Houston's very hot and humid, and moving to the cold climate in Buffalo. And now we move on to your favorite team, the Denver Broncos, with Devin White, linebacker out of LSU. They don't need very many more linebackers. Why are they doing this?
I think it's the best option right now. I think Vaughn is doing great, and I think he could definitely use a athletic, strong, agile, and can talk the talk.
Walk the talk.
That one, exactly. I mean, I think that it primes him. I mean, he's probably going to be behind the best linebacker in the league, in my opinion. They're definitely not going quarterback. They're definitely not going running back, and they've got plenty of wide receivers. I think a defensive skill position is definitely what they need. So I do agree with this Devin White. I think we're going to see lots of, especially in the preseason, maybe towards the end of the season, but with injuries, that are inevitable. I definitely see him doing well in his rookie year.
Defense is a question mark in a few spots. I would not go linebacker. I would go safety or free safety or cornerback.
Yeah.
Mostly because of Aqib Talib. He left a few years ago, so they've had a question mark there. But linebacker, still defensive player. They're trying to be stacked there apparently. But we'll see. These are question marks. This is a mock draft. As we move on to the Bengals, Devin Bush, another linebacker named Devin out of Michigan.
Yeah. I think that's a great choice. I think the Bengals need a spark, and that's the perfect choice for them.
Well, we're kind of in a rush. I don't want to talk about the Bengals because they're trash. Packers at 12 at T.J. Hawkinson out of Iowa, tight end. And Steven, I know you love tight ends.
I think giving Aaron a little bit more breathing room in terms of who he's passing to. But I think this is a good choice. I think Aaron needs another weapon. I think the Green Bay Packers are coming to a point where they're kind of really interested in Aaron Rodgers' future as a Green Bay Packer. And I think that if Aaron gives them a show, then he's gonna stay and we're gonna have a good show when we watch him. But yeah, I agree with the tight end, especially since they lost Jordy Nelson. But that's definitely how I'm going.
Well, we are going to move on to the Dolphins at Rashawn Gary defensive line out of Michigan, another Michigan guy going off the board. That's 2 in the first round. And the Dolphins need a lot of help. They were in the playoffs a few years ago, but they need a lot of help. Steven, do you see them going defensive line?
I definitely see them going defensive line. I was in between Rashawn Gary and Christian Wilkins from Clemson, both defensive linemen. I see Christian Wilkins as a bit better fit for Miami. I think I think he'll mend better. Number 1 in the 14 Atlanta Falcons, Rashawn Gary is who I had. Another team that needs some defensive linemen. They've got a good offensive line. They have an okay quarterback. I think Matt Ryan is still an okay quarterback. And so I think the defensive line for the Atlanta Falcons is definitely going to be the choice. So is whether the Miami Dolphins pick up Christian Wilkins from Clemson or Rashawn Gary from Michigan. But I think both Miami and Atlanta are going to be going defensive line.
We move into the second and final pick that we're going to review, the Falcons and Brian Murphy corner. So they're definitely not going to get rid of Matt Ryan, and I have question marks about that. Matt Ryan's days are over in Atlanta, and they're not trying to replace him. He's going to be like an Eli Manning in a few years.
Yeah, like I just said, Matt Ryan, I think, still is an okay quarterback. He's not as good as he once was, but I think he's still maybe got a year or two left in him. You saw what he can do with a healthy wide receiver and running backs, going all the way to Super Bowl and almost beating the Patriots. So I think maybe a year, maybe 2, before they start looking into quarterbacks.
Well, we will see the Redskins and DK Metcalf, wide receiver out of Ole Miss. So they're definitely thinking that they're going to get a quarterback and, to replace Alex Smith for a year. And they go wide receiver. They go offensive side. It's a pretty smart pick. They got some defensive guys back there they can hold down for another year while they up their offense. And Steven, do you have anything to add to that?
I don't think that's it. I think the draft this year is going to be good. I think it's going to be fun to watch, and we'll see where it goes.
As we move into the next topic, I want to talk real quick about my boy Russell Wilson up in Seattle. You just told me earlier that he wants a contract extension. If he doesn't get it by Easter, he's going to be a free agent, and he wants to be the most paid quarterback in the NFL. And I mean,
well, what's going on
he deserves
right now in terms of that is he wants a new deal, and he has till next year to make that deal, but he wants it by April 15th.
By April 15th? That's not Easter.
But by the time Easter gets around, the deals will be finalized and all that. But what I read was that he wants a new deal. If he does get that deal, he's going to be one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league, or he's going to be a high paid free agent next year. That's what I was reading. I definitely see the Seattle keeping going. I definitely see that Russell Wilson is now kind of taking command of the ship. I don't believe the Seahawks are Pete Carroll's team anymore. It's Russell Wilson's team. And I think the Seahawks need to realize that and give that man an extension that he wants.
I agree.
Yeah.
I love that man. I mean, my goodness, Seattle, you have not made good contract extensions in the last few years. Pay the man, Russell Wilson. I love that dude so much. And, it's going to be a fun season if he does stay. I don't want him to leave because, especially, we're not going quarterback because the 2 best quarterbacks in the draft are going to be taken by the time we draft. So it's time to pay the man. As we move into our final topic today, our top 5, the top 5 fan bases and top 5 uniforms. So we'll start off with the top 5 fan bases, Steven.
Oh, top 5 fan base. That's hard. We got that idea because we definitely, if people follow the NFL on Twitter, they did their own fan base, and I wanted to kind of compare ours to theirs. We're going to do the top 5, but we'll look at theirs. We'll look at theirs in total. I think it was a great way to kind of keep the fans involved and get them hyped for the draft.
Seattle lost.
Seattle
in the first round.
In the first round,
Buffalo Bills. And the Broncos move on.
The Broncos beat the LA Rams. I think that's exactly what should have happened. Another big one is the Eagles beat the Chiefs. I was
the dog pound. Well, that's Cleveland. What's the one in Philly? the dog something.
I don't know a Philly one because I don't watch Philly. But speaking of the dog pound is in the finals. The Cleveland Browns have beat what did they beat? They beat the Texans, which I thought would be. I thought the Texans were definitely going to at least finals two. I mean, their fan base is. Speaking as a former Texans fan,
it's a close-knit group.
It's a close-knit group. I mean, Houston, H-Town love. I mean, like I said, grew up in Houston, love Houston. The fan base and just the family feeling you get as a Houston Texans game. Definitely, I thought was going to push them to at least top 4, but they didn't. They lost to the Cleveland Browns first round. Cleveland then went to beat the Broncos, which I agree with. Unfortunately, I think anybody that stays a fan after 0-16 deserves a spot in the final 2. So right now we get the final 2. We got Cleveland Browns and the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans, I don't know how they got there.
Look at it.
The Tennessee Titans beat the Dallas Cowboys.
Screw that.
Again, another team that's like, if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Wait, are they counting because the Oiler fans moved straight to the Tennessee Titans fans?
They basically just put it out for a vote. There's on Twitter poll, Dallas Cowboys versus Tennessee Titans, and apparently the Tennessee Titans have a better Twitter base. I didn't think they were going to beat the Cowboys, and then in the second round they beat the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I can see that.
But then they beat the Buffalo Bills to go into the final 2.
The Bill Mafia. No, you can't beat the Bill Mafia.
Right, so right now but that's what happens. Now we got the Tennessee Titans and the Cleveland Browns.
Sally is question marks. Maybe the Tennessee fan base is like really that good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They just a lot of them have Twitter. I mean, like I said, they didn't go out to the streets and ask people. They just put a Twitter poll out. So maybe I feel like I'm gonna get
or maybe the fans are screwing with us.
Yeah,
they're like, hey, let's go Tennessee.
I think I'm gonna get a lot of shit for saying this. But the Dallas Cowboys fan base ranges from young to old, and I just don't think they had enough young people that are on Twitter to vote. I think of all the old timers and the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, like my grandfather. I mean, my grandfather's from Manchester, United Kingdom, in London, Manchester, and he roots for the Dallas Cowboys because the Dallas Cowboys are America's team. I'm doing that with quotation marks. So I think there's I think the Dallas Cowboys have a huge fan base. A wide fan base, but they don't think they have enough youngins. So I think that's why they lost to the Tennessee Titans. But, so like I said, Tennessee Titans, Cleveland Browns, top 2. You have 3 days to go vote on the NFL fan page.
The Hillbillies won.
But I'm going to say top 5. Obviously, number 1, I got to give it to the Houston Texans. I've been to plenty of games around the country. The Houston Texans, I think, have just the overall fan base that's that Houston attitude that like our team's the best and we know it.
I was there during the 2-14 season. They were still there, jam packed,
right,
cheering for every single game. But then they just they lost and they're still there, sold out.
The Texans fan base.
It's crazy.
I just think even against losing teams, they still show this courtesy and. Yeah, it's hype and yeah, it's trash talking, but I think Houston in general, just as a family, comes together and takes care of the people that are here. Yeah, we jostle around. Yeah, we talk shit, but I think that's just the Texans.
I will say this: I don't like the Houston Texans fans. They're great. They love their team, but they are the most arrogant people. They are 0-3. I talked to a few Texans fans, and they're all like, "Oh my goodness." I still love my team. We're still going to be there, but what the heck's going on? And then they win 9 straight, and they won't shut up. They're the most arrogant, and they're talking Super Bowl, but they haven't proven themselves. They keep choking in the damn playoffs.
I think that's the football standpoint, but I'm thinking about the people of Houston, the Texans fan who you see when Harvey hit. They bonded together and they rebuilt, and they kept that Houston strong all the way through the season. I mean, J.J. Watt and the teammates brought this life that the Houston Texans fans rallied behind. When they the hurricane hit North Carolina, the Houston Texans were a major contribution to the relief fund for the Carolinas. I mean, these Houston Texans are just loving people that, yes, trash talk, but that's where I'm gonna go with number 1. Number 2, I gotta go the Browns. I mean, the Cleveland Browns. You guys are just a good team, to fan bases. I mean, you a team that goes 1-32 over 2 years. I mean, that's unfortunate.
They weren't 1-32.
They were something like that, but there's still people that show up in that freezing town wearing masks over their head, but still they're there spending money that they spend on a ticket. So Cleveland Browns number 2. Number 3, I'm gonna go to the New England Patriots. And the reason I'm gonna go to the New England Patriots is because they have so many bandwagon fans. They have a huge fan base. I'd say 54.3% of the New England fan base is bandwagons. From the time of Tom Brady, from the time of the Super Bowl era, I'm thinking bandwagons. Number 4, that's a tough one. I'd probably go big green. Seattle Seahawks. I think I've seen.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I've seen videos of these celebrities that come and with the Falcon,
the flag,
and and all that.
The Falcon,
the Seahawk.
It's a hawk, man.
Yeah,
it's
the hawk. I mean, all that, and the 12th man, which they got from Texas A&M, by the way, had to pay Texas A&M like millions of dollars. But anyway,
we do it better.
The 12th man is like, even as an Aggie who's not
official.
definitely not official, but like as an Aggie fan, like my mom and dad were both went to A&M, and they like the Seahawks because they like that 12th man. They don't root for me, like they're not the team, but they still say root for them. So Seattle Seahawks definitely going. Is that what number 4?
Yeah.
And number 5, I'm gonna go with the Dallas Cowboys. I think the Dallas Cowboy fan base, over the years of torture and choke artists that have come and gone, and the Dallas Cowboys, they're still a consistent fan base, like we talked about earlier. It's just America's team.
I hate those people as well.
And yeah, like every team's gonna have bandwagoners, but I think Dallas has a long, loyal base. And the Dallas Cowboy games are fun. And yeah, I don't think a man would spend billions of dollars on a stadium if the fans weren't, in his eyes, the greatest. So they're up there. I'm gonna give them number 5.
Well, my top 5. Obviously, I'm gonna hate this. But I'm going to go Seattle at number 5, mostly because I think there's a whole bunch of good people, or good fan bases in front. And second off, I mean, they're a great fan base, but a lot of, they don't travel very well. I mean, they did travel to London, but I think, a lot of that was just because they wanted to see a new thing. But when I went to the Texans-Seattle game, there was no one in Houston that had Seattle gear except for me. And, but there's still a good fan base at number 5. But number 4, obviously, you forgot about the black hole in Oakland.
No.
You don't? No.
They don't cause enough splash. They might be a good fan. Every team has a good fan base, otherwise there wouldn't be a team there. But the black hole, whatever you called it, isn't. There's not like a positive, like, let's talk about that, like there's the Houston Texans. So, but it's your top 5. So you give me your reason for the black hole. I
mean, this team hates. I forgot what's their owner's name?
Their owner or the coach?
The owner.
I don't know the owner's name.
I have Jim Davis. That's who it is. He moved it to Las Vegas. They're obviously moving there, but they still show up and cheer on the Oakland Raiders, even though they know that their team is going to go away. They're still the black hole, and they're still going to be the black hole going to Las Vegas. There's still going to be people in Oakland just watching that game. Some people even travel to Las Vegas because I don't know how far the drive is, but it's at least not all the way across the country. It's right there in Nevada, and I think they're going to go to those games. I think there's still going to be a prominent fan base, and they're growing. It's a black hole, and you can talk on any talk show. They all know about the black hole. Number 3, I will not put New England in this top 5. I'm going to go and surprise you with the Packers.
Jesus.
What?
Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, this team, you don't know how many freaking Packer fans I meet like every single day. They're everywhere. All you see is green and yellow. I mean, granted, I might be seeing Baylor because I live in Texas, but Green Bay fans are everywhere. I mean, Wisconsin is a farm area, a dairy, whatever you want to call it, but those fans travel. They sit there in below 20-degree weather, or below zero, negative 20-degree weather, every single season. They sold the house even when they were trash. They sit through all of that pain, just like the Bills, all for that. That fan base, give it up to them. Number 2, it's obviously going to be a hard pick. I choose the Buffalo Bills, mostly because the Bills Mafia. I love the Bills Mafia. I'm not a Bills fan, but they've been around since the 4 Super Bowl losses. They still cheer for this damn team after 0-16s, 1-win teams, 2-win teams, and they still cheer for that team even after they lost 4 straight Super Bowls. They've, heartbroken this team constantly, and they still continue to cheer for them. And then at number 1, obviously, I ranted on about the Texans being a pretty good fan base, but you can't forget about the Dog Pound in Cleveland, one of the greatest, fan bases of all time. And, it's going to be fun. Real quick, we're going to go into the top 5 unis. Steven, what's your top 5?
Oh man, that's a tough one because there's so many uniforms. So I'm gonna say the team and I'm gonna say their uniform that I like. So I'm gonna go backwards this time, like I didn't do before. I'm gonna go start at 5. Number 5, definitely by far, Seattle Seahawks, all green, neon green.
I love how you're loving my team right now.
I love neon stuff. The neon green.
Thank you.
I love when they're playing like that because I like the neon green. Looks good as a shirt, looks good as a jersey, looks good as a color. I'm going to go to top 5, Seattle Seahawks. Number 4, I got to go to the color rush. It's got to be the Carolina Panthers. That teal is just, I think, just beautiful.
Teal?
It's like a teal, bluish, kind of all blue.
It's a girl blue. It's like powder puff blue. It's powder puff blue. That's what it is. That's what it is.
It's almost like ocean blue. Like ocean blue.
Okay, there are parts of the ocean that are like that blue.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah, I'm talking
You
about
go to Galveston. Yeah, you go to Galveston. That's proud right there.
Galveston would be the Cleveland Browns is my favorite jersey.
That's
no,
proud.
I'm talking like middle of the ocean, clear as day, that type of blue. I'm gonna go Carolina Panthers. Number 3, I like the color. I like the color rush jerseys, y'all. I want you to understand that the color rush jerseys. I'm gonna go with crispness on number 3. How crisp and how nice these ones are. The Dallas Cowboys all white color rush. When they come out, not 5 minutes into the game when they have grass stains all over it, but when they come out wearing all white. White socks, white shoes, white pants, white jersey. It's just. I think that's one of the best. Number 2. I would go the new Cleveland Browns jersey. Like that, it's not like a black, but it's not like a brown. Like, you know what the new one it is? It's
I know.
It's like a dark, it's like a light black.
It's like you picking Jason Garrett the other day. Seriously, that's an odd pick to do.
I know, but I just like it. Like, when they introduced it this season, I was like, oh, that's a really cool jersey. The orange and I just like it. That would be number 3. Number 2.
Oh, you mean number 2? That was number 2.
That was number 2. Number 1 jersey. Oh, that's such a tough one.
You gotta pick one.
Huh?
You gotta pick one.
I gotta pick one.
And it can't be a retro either.
Retros are cool too. Oh, you know what I hate? I hate
the Bumblebee.
The Green Bay and the Bumblebee. The Green Bay retro.
Bro, that is the Bumblebee.
No, the Pittsburgh is Bumblebee.
Is it?
Yeah, Pittsburgh Steelers is Bumblebee. Okay. Retro is the khakis. The khaki color for the Green Bay Packers with the yellow helmet and the blue jersey with the yellow shoulder pads. Yeah. That's retro. No. I think that's a tough one here. You do your top 5, 4, 3, 2, and then we'll do one. Just give me time for that one. So you do top 5, 4, 3, 2, and then we'll do one.
Number 5. I've been putting them in number 5. I like the neon green in Seattle. At number 2, I'm obviously going with probably the New Orleans Saints. They've got a pretty cool jersey down there, and I know I just said number 3. Number 4, that was number 4. Number 3, I'm getting sidetracked here. I like the red of the Houston Texans. The Blood Sunday, the red ones that they do. It's just, I like it so much. And And number 2, I would definitely, if we were doing retro, do the Patriots old. The one
White
with the...
and red?
Yeah. They look pretty good. I love red, white, and blue. Number 2 is a hard pick. But I'm going to have to go with the Los Angeles Rams, the yellow ones. They're, vintage, but they brought them back because they're one of their main jerseys this year or the last few years, and I like that jersey. And your number 1?
See, I was kind of, my number 1, honestly, would be kind of which I think it would be a tie with the same team. I like the Rams. The Rams.
You like their bullcrap white one. I know what you're talking. No.
The white.
What is with you and white?
The blue with the white horn.
No.
That's like 1.5. The best one is their blue and yellow one, the one you like. I think that's the best one. I hope there'd be a little more yellow because I like bright colors also.
You want neon yellow?
I think that'd be kind of cool. I think that'd be
no,
not neon, not neon.
Yeah, I was
not
like,
straight, the yellow that they have on their helmets and their pants, like one just yellow, like kind of like the Nashville Predator colors, like but just like
so a brighter one.
It's the same color, really. If you look at the picture, it's a bright yellow. There's not a lot on it.
So wait, I'm getting confused. Which one are you picking?
I'm going number one. The blue and yellow.
The one I picked for number 2.
Yes.
Okay.
And then 1.5, the blue and white from Rams. But yeah, okay, so you're 1. Go ahead.
It was a tough one. But I love the Miami Dolphins, the light blue jersey. I know I gave you crap on the Carolina.
That's a girl color. That's more girl color.
But this one looks turquoise more than blue. This is so much better.
I've seen more girls have that color on their nails than that one.
You're
talking about the blue and the white one? Like it's blue top, white bottoms?
Yes.
With the white helmet? Oh,
yes.
No, it's too many. It's color. Those don't.
Are you kidding
those
me?
Don't look. I would definitely like it if the pants were the same color as the jersey.
I think they do have that.
Do they?
Yeah.
They might have been new this year. Yeah.
Maybe it was just the color rush.
The color rush, yeah. I could see that being top 10. I could see that being top 5 level on your top.
What the heck are you talking about, man? The top 10? Like, what? No, that's number 1.
All right, that's number 1. I wish there was a
You picked
team.
the Browns as well in there. Come on.
The Browns have a cool jersey. I wish one team in the NFL would have the same colors as the Florida Gators. The neon orange, like
No.
maybe like the Broncos or something.
Wait, no, the Cincinnati Bengals.
No,
the Cincinnati Bengals.
No. They have if we were doing top 5 helmets, obviously Cincinnati Bengals have a cool helmet, but their jerseys are just regular jerseys. But I'm saying if the Broncos or like maybe put a new team in Alabama. We need some new teams. There's only 32 teams, 50 states, y'all. Come on.
You want another team in
There's not a team in Alabama.
Alabama?
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Where would they put one?
That's what I'm saying.
It would be a small town team with a whole bunch of hillbillies. What do you want? I'm sorry talking about your birth state.
More than the Titans, Tennessee and Alabama are like they're just one's longer in the state size.
Okay, but like Nashville is a big freaking city. Wait, are they Nashville or Memphis?
I think they're Nashville.
Yeah. Screw that. I don't care. Tennessee has bigger freaking cities than Montgomery.
Some team somewhere, and then make their color bright neon orange like the Florida Gators. I'd rock like Boise State. I'd rock those jerseys.
Oh gosh, you're insane. You're insane. Well, we will wrap this up. Y'all can join me on Monday through Thursday as well. And Steven will be right back here alongside me on the next Wake and Bake show with Steven and Jake every single Friday in the morning. So start it off right with us. And we will be signing off.
Signing off, y'all. Take care.